So Franklin, did you want to start with a little bit of drum and flute to
Yes,
bring us
I'd
in?
like to have my friend Donna play flute for me, and then I'm going to drum a song for you to get us off
Awesome.
the ground. That way, we'll have some foundation as far as this gift of my heart and what comes out from me.
Mm,
Song usually helps.
yeah, totally.
So, oh, this is my gigantic 4 square drum. Doesn't come from no uh, just a specific drum that are Karuk people and the Shasta people and the surrounding tribes in Northern California. They use a square drum as a significance of value and good luck. So I'm going to sing you a good luck song, a Karuk good luck song. Karuk is means river, and Ada Ada means people. So I'm from the Karuk people, the river people, which is actually salmon. So we're in the process of restoring our salmon habitat on the Klamath River in Northern California, and we just got through breaking a historical, um, what's this called, taking out the 4 dams that was holding up the Klamath River for the salmon habitat to get free. So now it's flowing free, but it's going to take some time because of the damage it's done in years. And so we have, just like us growing up, we have to let it in time grow. Hey, 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 yo. Ah, no, no, no. Hey, 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 hey. Ah, no, no, yo. Hey, 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 yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, no, hey, no, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, Ah, no, 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 no. Ah, no, no, no. Hey, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, 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 yo. On, hey, on, hey, yo, 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 no way, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, no way, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, I know, no way, no way, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yo, oh, no, oh, no, oh, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yeah, yo, hey, yo, hey, the way, hey, the way, hey, the way. Ah,
Oh, thank you, Franklin. Well, welcome everyone to Dissolving the Divide. And today is a special podcast. Especially feels special to me. I am really pleased to have a friend of mine, Franklin Thom, on with us today. And we're here with my lovely friend Donna, who was kind enough to be our hostess, allow us to use her space. Hey, Derek, welcome.
Hey, yeah, really delightfully and heartfeltly honored to have this moment and share the space and yeah, allow your friend Franklin to share whatever's on his mind, to bring more awareness to the Karuk tribe and just in general the plight of so many tribes of Native American culture that's kind of just been lost throughout the wheels of time, spinning in kind of the opposite directions, unfortunately, and haven't been given the proper respects and a lot of treatment and equality and all that stuff. So yeah, and in modern days there seem to be given lip service and kind of tokenizing and doing certain things, and it's just, I don't know, I'm seeing some progress, but it seems a little, I don't know, I'm not seeing the right effort given.
Yeah.
It's like a
And I
little too
wonder,
late type of thing, but we'll get into that. Franklin, I'd love to hear your story, where you're from and all that. So yeah, thank you.
yeah.
I come from a river that's in the Northern California region on the western part, near the coast. I'm surrounded by 7 different tribes, and my people, we uh, we have a stretch about a good 130-mile stretch of the river is Karuk territory, and in the middle of that territory is a place called Kadamine. And Kadamine is the center of the world for the Karuk people. To me, it is my home place and where my mom and my dad were both raised. They were both brought up in the same village, but yet had different parents that lived in 4 other villages at the same time. During the olden days before the coming of the non-Indian people, we call it, because we keep it simple. Non-Indian seems like it'd be the best way to say it. So when all this happened, it changed our ecological system, our eating habits, our history. Everything was taken away, and everything was pushed into a hole. And my grandparents took it upon themselves to run to the mountains in the time of gold rush years.
Mm.
And so during those years, my dad's grandparents were brought up in the mountains. They didn't have no uh, interaction with the outside world, so they didn't know what was going on. But my dad was a little boy, and he was brought up by his grandparents. And that was fortunate because his both parents passed away at a young age. I don't know what from, because my dad and I are walking 2 different trails in time. He's in the spirit world right now since 1913, or excuse me, 2013. And so it's been 9 years, and it's been a journey since then to walk in the Karuk way of life as a walking backwards into the future sort of aspect. And so what I'm doing as a personal in vendetta to my people and to my ancestors that are before me, I desired in my heart to learn the Karuk language and the culture before I even learned how to be a dancer and a singer and a leader and an elder. So I was in school as a little boy in Wairika, which is just north of Mount Shasta, and I was in that school for 10 years. Now, to me, back in those days, it was a no-no, because segregation was just getting off the ground. And I'm going to say this once, that the young lady that walked into Montgomery, Alabama elementary school was the same year that I walked into Jackson Street Elementary School in Wairika.
Mm.
I had both of my legs hooked to the door and my hand hooked to the door,
Mm.
trying not to get in.
Scary.
It was scary to me. I was scared, what was going on. And so
Yeah.
they finally got me in there, gave me toys, what the way they call it, bribery. Well, they bribed a little baby boy to, we'll sit him in this corner and he'll come to his senses pretty soon. Well, about a year later, he'll come to his senses pretty soon.
Mm.
A year later, he'll come to his senses pretty soon. Now he's a special child because he's blind. And so I had surgery at birth, and I was blind at birth. And so I'm more or less a miracle to myself and to my family and to my tribe to have that gift to be able to see again.
So you were blind at birth, and how old when you had the surgery to restore some vision?
I was 7 years old when I
7.
first started seeing
Mm-hmm.
everything is real. And I was 14 at the time when I was looking on TV and watching TV, and my mom was always trying to keep me from learning anything about our Karuk ways because we were forbidden. And because she was brought up in the boarding school time period in the 30s and 40s. And she learned how to be a seamstress, and she learned how to be a homemaker, learned how to make clothes. And so we were brought up, and we didn't have dads. And my mom was very avid about who was taking care of her children. So she goes, nobody tells my children nothing. So we were brought up in a strict home discipline, and then plus go to school at the same time. So life wasn't easy for me.
Yeah.
And so I went to clear through school with the greatest of ease of receiving the lowest grade in the class, which I didn't mind one bit. I thought to myself, when am I going to get out of this place? And I'm 67 years old today in this time. As long as my friend Donna back here is 67 also. I think it's awesome. Because we both were probably brought up in two different kinds of world. And but the world I lived in was very, very sad. I had to see alcoholics laying on the ground. Could you help me, little boy? And I said, well, teach me some of that language. This is like my little age if I want to know. And so I listened to elders talking that were in the 60s and 70s that still had the language in them. They were talking in the back at church, and I was sitting in the back like, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. Yeah, you don't know nothing. You'll never learn nothing. Oh, that's one of my things you'd never do to me is don't tell me what I never could do. Because it becomes a gift to do what they say I can't do.
Yeah.
And to be here today is a good example of that.
Yes. So the Karuk tribe, as far as I understand, is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, tribe in this Northern California area. Is that true?
Yeah, as far as where they're located, we were located into the vast, deep mountains of northwestern Siskiyou County, and it was hard to reach, as the pioneers would try to think they said, and they didn't get into our country until the early 1900s. And at that time, they wanted our land. And so they got what they could, and they put most of our tribes on the Hoopa Valley Indian Reservation, which is based with 7 tribes. So we were put in with 7 other tribes, and our people just couldn't take it. We were too wild, and we were too smart to be entrapped.
To be tamed. Yeah.
Yep, we took off. We became confederated. We ran back up river. We took one family, told them to go this way, and one family go this way. You go up in the mountains and survive. That was 40 years. So all that time period, my grandparents were raising my dad. My dad was born in 1928. My mom was born in 1933. And I'm 67, and so I started my learning how to be a Karuk at age 14. Curiosity jumped into my blood because I heard the elders back then talking about extinction and that there's no use getting our language back. No use. And there goes that telling me there's no use trying. So I took it upon myself to go to the libraries, go to the school, go to anything that had something to do with this word Karuk. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it meant that's what our people's name was. I didn't have any idea. It was just the name of a river. And so the salmon became a very important resource to us. And I would be sent down to Soames Bar as a little boy, but my mom would always tell my uncle, don't let him go to any of those ceremonies going on down over there at the Kadamine. And we were like about a quarter mile away from Kadamine, living there, but we can hear these sounds. And you being little kids, you're going to get curious. And our uncles and aunts were very strict. They were army oriented and river oriented, so they were wild. And so they told us, don't go near there. You're forbidden. Your mom said, no, go there. And so a couple of us, we snuck over there and looking through the brush, looking at all these people dancing, dressed up in all these hides, deerskin, necklaces, regalia. And I was more curious. I wanted to know more, so I went on learning. And so now today, I became a linguistic teacher as well as a cultural practitioner for the Karuk people. I'm the last of my family to carry carry what my dad calls carry the ball. I have to carry that ball, and then grab the baton. Well, the baton wasn't there because my dad didn't hand it to me.
Mm.
He handed it to my nephew. And so I made my own baton. And I said, I want to learn on my own anyway. So I said, okay. I prayed to the Creator. I said, what do I do now? What do I do? What do I do? I've been seeking all these years. And the year 220 came when the pandemic came and hit. I took it upon myself to go into what they call a sabbatical. I wanted to learn language so bad that I was going to go into a isolation place and learn. And so I did that. And I did it for my dad because I heard he was dying in 3 years and I had to hurry up. I didn't have much time to learn. So I just, fast as I could, I wrote a book, I wrote poetry, I wrote journals, anything I could do to bring our past from the past back to the present. And that's what walking backwards to me means, is I went back there and grabbed a whole bunch and brought it forward with me.
Yeah.
And this means a lot of people. And so I'm not alone. I got all my ancestors walking with me in my heart. They're telling me, you're a blessed child, you're a blessed child. You got gifts, you got gifts. But they would never tell you what gifts you got. You have to earn those gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So going to dances was one of those things to earn. But I did all this research in the school, so I was a step on everybody because I studied all the books and about Karuk life and what the dances were. So by the time I got introduced to the dances, I was right in the middle of it. And I got to learn how to dance. I pretended I knew all what was going on just to be there. And so after pretending for so many years in my 30s and 40s, got to my 50s, I kind of quit pretending.
Mm-hmm.
I started taking on the language more serious.
Mm-hmm.
I started looking up and looking everywhere around. I would look over there and say, what's that? Four-legged. That's food to me, those four-legged. And because these are things that was told to me. And so I was always trying to catch up and learn as much as I can about who and what I was as a Karuk Native American and being in America and coming from being a special child in school and being coming through all my young life and not knowing what I wanted to do after I got out of high school. I said, the best way to do it is go back to your people, but they don't know who you are. That's where you go down and introduce yourself. So I got hired. Just so happens California in 1978 opened the door for the Karuk people to, instead of a recreation director, I was a cultural assistant to our two elders that got hired to do culture. Now that was our first step into society, that they gave us a chance to learn our culture back and language and history. So I jumped on that, took that job, and I got to learn from the best. And our teacher said, whoever's here, whoever picks this language up, whoever picks this medicine up, is going to be the loneliest man in the world. Then later on, he says, all of you boys here, nobody gets to play cards. Nobody gets to play the drum. Nobody gets to do the dance until you go down river and introduce yourself to all the other tribes and come back home. I took it serious and spent the whole year going to every dance there could be, hitchhiking, whatever, how I got there. I made it to introduce myself. Who is that cute little boy? I was a cute little boy. At age 18, 19 years old, I was a cute little boy. Tell that little cute little boy to come over here, the elderly woman would say from the tribes around us. I go there, have a seat. Who are you? I said, my name is Frankie Thom. You related to Charlie Thom? I go, yeah, that's my dad. Crazy Charles, that guy, he's a nut. And because he was the funniest guy up and down the river during those years. And so a lot of people liked him. He was funny. He knew what he was doing. And so they all had a chance. My dad and four other elders got together and made the ceremonies come back and brought us back home. So it sort of woke us up. But who was behind me? Nobody. Oh, except Donna. And so the creator says, now you have to do it. Your dad's not here. Your teacher's not here. Your best friend that got you do dances is not here. What are you going to do? The creator says, well, you got all these gifts with you. What are you going to do with them? Use them. So the creator gave me a dance to start the whole year out for the Karuk people. I go build the first fire in the dark of the moon in the month of May. And in the second week, it's every year I do this because it's to help our people have a good year. That's what my prayer and my wish is. So we do a war dance, what we call, but it's really stomping out evil dance. We stomp the evil out, and then we use fire sticks to open the sky. And then we said we crisscross dancers. And then as the sky opens, all the bad goes from what we want to leave there. We want it to go to the sky so that we can have a good year. And that's how we start our year out. And that's what I've been doing for 7 years.
Wow. Is it true, Franklin, that the authorities, so to speak, don't want the natives doing the war dance? They try to make it illegal?
My dad said that a war dance could be put on at any given time. And since
he's correct.
Yeah, and he's correct. Yeah, and so I take my dad's word, not nobody else's.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say about today, that indifference between the tribe and who works for the tribe, and there's the community that's outside the gate. Let's go back to your time of the period, brother. How you guys had castles, and then you had your people on the outside. Well, that's how it is with our tribe. And the tribe has their own businesses, do their own things, but the people have their own thing too, but the tribe's there for the people. And so what we're trying to stress is you need to be here for all the people, not just your tribal employees.
Right.
I
watched a video of your father talking about wanting to go back to really the older ways, that he was noticing that the tribe was drifting away from the traditional, respect of the elders, the tribal council, and the connection with all the nature.
Yep. You become, what happened to me was totally out of this world. Last year, everybody wanted to make me look bad and never showed up to my dance. Everybody had another reason not to go. I was down there by myself, feeling sad. Last year was my 7th year. I thought it was my best number, but it wasn't at the time. But turns out this bird looks down at me and he says, "What are you crying about?" I choked. What was that? Hey, I'm down there. I'm up here. The bird was looking down and goes, "You know me." Yeah, I know you. You're the one that talks too much. I'm talking about the blue jay. And the blue jay just jabbering on. He goes, "Well, you got to know that we're here for you, because where's all your other humans at? They got something else to do." "Well, what are you doing?" "Sitting here moping around." "Well, you got a lot of work to do. You're not done yet."
That's right.
So I got back to doing work, setting up the camp like if I was going to have a dance anyway. Built the fire up on the hill that made our fire. See, we let our prayers go to our little mountain, what we call a sugar loaf, which is a beautiful mountain. And our center of the world is a wonderful place. It looks like it don't from what you see in real life, what it looks like. But when you see it from the spiritual point of view, it's walking on that. It's like the beautifulest place in the world for you. Everything just turns green. Everything turns yellow. Everything's in purple. So different colors. And then we have a falls that's only 1 mile long, and that's our fishing rights. And so I'm exercising my religion by doing this dance every year. It's letting our tribe know that I'm standing up for our rights as a culture people.
Yeah.
That we're here, we're doing our culture, and you guys are doing tribal business. You guys do the business, we'll do culture. And what's going on there? There's separation. There's no communication. The people that's running the tribe, people that works for the council, they won't help us unless we go to them and let them know what we need, instead of telling us what do we need.
Yeah.
We have
It's sad, right? That
Mhm.
your culture was very unified. It operated well for thousands of years, probably. And then, the gold rush came and new settlers came and just really wiped out your land and your people, separated families with boarding schools, made it very threatening to live, and almost wiped out the language and the culture.
Mhm.
So, I'm hearing from you this tremendous determination, like the spirit that came from Creator through you, that really allowed you to persevere under very difficult circumstances.
Well, what they did good for us is that they took interviews from informants that were picked back in the 30s and 40s from our elders, and they learned our language through written down language. So I couldn't understand that too well. So, well, what am I supposed to do? I want to be English teacher anyway, so I'm going to go to college and take English so I can learn my Karuk language through linguistics from the old school. So what I'm doing is going backwards again, grabbing what they're saying and bringing it forward, and tak,
Yeah.
hand it.
Yeah, it's interesting how the cycles work. Huh?
Yeah, so I know it feels good to me that I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
The only bad part about it is I'm the only one that's there doing this. And if
Yeah, I'm
there's other
shocked to hear
people,
that.
if there's other people doing this like me, more power to them.
Yeah.
And I would support them, but I don't know who they are or where they're at.
Mm.
Our families are separate. One family's doing it this way, one family's doing it this way, one family's doing it this way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to represent all the tribe, not just my family.
Mm.
And to go back and learn language for everybody, not just my family. My family and I don't have no connection. Brothers and my siblings. Thank you. Yotawa.
Cheers. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Because people on the outside looking in, including myself and all that, even just people in California.
Right now, there's nobody really looking in except for the people that are getting
Yeah.
the ones that are getting upset or getting heard finally. But
Mm.
it takes a lot of us to get our point across. And I keep telling my friend, we have 3 different village sites. one in Wairika, one in Happy-Camp, and one in Orleans, and they're 120 miles from each other. One's in the middle, one's down here, and one's up here. We all don't know each other. Most of our employees that work for the tribe are descendants, less than descendants, or non-Indian itself. So our tribe's being run by a lot of people that aren't really like for the cultural program, and like with what the casino does for us, it gives 2% to the culture program.
That's not a high amount.
No, and so what am I giving? 98%.
Yeah, you give a lot.
So I give 98% of me to our people, our people, that they can gain that same knowledge as long as they want it. But
and preserve it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are trying to preserve it and they're trying to archive it. And I said, you guys need to teach this generation too. These children, they need to know. So now they got us into the school system. And so I'm an assistant to another woman that doesn't even know Karuk, and she's not even Karuk. But she's my boss. And I'm the elder in the class, and what I say should go, right? So it doesn't go like that. Chain of command. And so we have to abide by the council's tribal rules or whatever. But they like me, so that's kind of like one of the best things is to be liked, is that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not lacking. You're not slowing down. Only thing is you're getting older. And so, and what my wife used to say, oh, you got the white man's disease. I said, oh, no. I was like, what? White man's disease? Well, you're coughing. Don't get near me. You got that white. And I go, you're so funny. And I would laugh at her. She passed away in 2004.
Yeah.
Now I'm a grandpa.
So the destruction done by the non-Indigenous people that came and really, disrupted is a mild word, right? Your people, the effects are still evident. The amounts of like alcoholism and inner fighting, and
there's a lot of that going on. We don't have no balance in the community. The three communities. Let's just say, do you have any visitors that come visit me every day? No, I live in the elders section. Oh, it's forbidden. Don't bother the elders. So the elders don't get visited by people. People don't come and see us. We're left at home most of the time alone. If I didn't have a caregiver who loved me, my daughter, my goddaughter, my stepdaughter, and they didn't love me, I just would have a hard time. But since I live right in the middle of our reservation, which that's why they put me, because I changed my whole life around so I can come back and be accepted into their way of life, and then them accept my way of life. And so I got probably about, I'd say 90% of the people up and down the river know me as a person, because I allowed myself to go down there, introduce myself to their grandparents. Now, when I go to the dances, I get to meet their grandchildren, dance with their grandchildren, dance with their sons and daughters, and talk about their grandma and grandpa. Oh, yeah, I remember those guys. Oh, could you not talk about that? See, that's what the sad part is. They don't want to hear about what happened way back in the 70s and 60s and 50s and 80s. There's no shame there.
There's trauma, right?
It's trauma.
Yeah.
And dislike and hatred. And so we have to get rid of all that. And so in order to do that, I had to be an example. Sober up, clean your life up, get right. Show everybody that you can do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't think I could do it. And I didn't. Exactly. I didn't think I could do it. And so being here today is I call it I'm on borrowed time. Me, I could have left a long time ago, but I didn't.
Yeah. I have such respect for you and admiration, because I've heard you talk about what it was like first to be a little boy during this time when your people were not feeling a part of the larger world, outside
No.
world, and you said you were blind, you were very small, and so you weren't given the same like opportunities as other kids.
No.
You didn't. You had to develop your own relationship with nature in your own way, and use your own determination to not give up. Can you share a little bit about how you overcame all that?
Yeah, I overcame it by one day sitting there looking west into the mountains. Way back in 1989, 88. I was 36 years old. And I was looking up the crosser. I go, I have to go over there. I have to go there, but how am I going to get there? You're going to have to go over there. You're going to have to go over there. And so I went over there and I learned what I had to do to be who the idea was to learn who I was really, who I was, and what I was, and where I was, and where I come from. What am I like? How am I supposed to be? And so this is all the things that I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
And I used 4 characteristics that my ancestors told me: innocence, purity, confidence, and strength. So the confidence got me away from all the people calling me short and laughing and joking at me. Innocence got me to where I was growing from being a previous alcoholic to my whole life changed right before my eyes. That's the innocence. And the strength, the confidence is what I picked up because I wanted to be more like what my ancestors wanted, not what our people wanted today. I wanted what our ancestor wanted. What do you guys want? What do you want us? So I get guided through song, I get guided through language, I get encouraged.
The birds.
Yeah, I got friends to the birds, I got the 4-legged, the crawlies, the fish, they're all friends to me. And whenever I'm down and out, the birds say, what's wrong? You know. And so I would like just talk to them, and the next thing you know, they're singing along. Hello, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey, 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 yo, yo. And so the songs would open my heart, and then I would have dreams at night, wild dreams, where I would see the awesomest, craziest stuff in the world, and try to figure that one out. When I was a little boy, I had dreams about being in the back seat of a car that was driving by itself when nobody's driving. Now, I didn't know today they were going to have a car like that. I dreamed about the cameras that were going to move my people, and all my ancestors were going to move in these pages. And I didn't know that we were going to be on camera. And so it was like, wow, what are they showing me? And so life became a wake up and be ready for what's going to come your way. Do the do. Be happy today. Having that, be happy.
Yeah. And connecting with nature very much in spirit through nature.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to ask you a question because this is just like my observation and what I've, learned through their teachings and how, a lot of tribes, lived a way of life through, natural law in a sense. Leslie and I, we speak about that a lot. And I think for me, like, yeah, it's not just, understanding, my tribe and like, let's say, a young young boy growing up who is Karuk descendant, yet they're not showing up to your dances and all that stuff. No one's visiting the elders, like you said. Yet it's a real shame because you guys are the source of where the proper knowledge applied into wisdom is achieved. And so yeah, it's like really being in tune with the you and I verse, the eternal song that is always singing through the birds and the bees and all that jazz. And yeah, I think that's always been something that's been very inspiring for me, learning about that through
Yeah.
Native American
I
tradition.
had to because there was nobody being your friend except for the spirit world and whatever was around me.
Yeah.
And wherever I was set, I would be talked to, and I would see something, or I would see a rock that would just look at me and say, "Hey, I want to go to your house." And so I'd pick it up and take it to my house. Now I got an altar made of big rocks, and I say my prayers every morning, get up early. This is one thing I learned way back in 2012 after I got my vision of about who I was going to be. Um, I had to go from age 9, spirit cleared back to what I am now, 67, and I had to take humility for a long time because I would let the Great Spirit know when I was going to get older. And what I mean by getting older is your learning, your knowledge, your wisdom, your awareness, your letting things bounce off you. Whenever I would smudge myself, whoever was throwing bad energy at me, it wasn't going at me. It was going past me or it was going back. It doesn't matter. And so it wasn't going to bother me because I was there to do something beautiful. I wasn't there to be ugly. If I was looking pretty ugly, then that's all right. I was there to do something beautiful. And my culture is what I do, and our ancestors are happy that what I'm doing, and because now I'm back where I went to school at Jackson Street Elementary School. I'm teaching
Wow.
Karuk language to non-Indian kids and the Indian kids at lunchtime in the library. So last Tuesday, I had 20 fifth and sixth graders coming in with their lunch, and we only had 40 minutes of class. So, and I was a teacher language that day, and we were doing a video with my videographer, was videotaping me, and she was there with me filming me. So I had to teach the class, so I wanted the class to be alert. I said, "You guys stop talking, eat your lunch so we can have time to do a game. You guys are going to run out of time. By the time we get to the game, it'll be 5 minutes." I was really giving them heck, but I was staying in language too. It's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's eat. So the librarian got mad because when we got up to do our game, all the kids left all their trash on the table, and I told them, I said, "I'll clean it up for them." So when the kids took off on their break, the librarian had to clean up my mess, and so I got in trouble. So next week or next time I go teach again, I have to. So the next class came in for 7th and 8th graders, and we only had 5 students. So the librarian couldn't say nothing. And plus, those 5 students were very attentive and listened and
Must be hard.
Yeah, and so it was not easy. Here I was dealing with school again.
I know, right?
And so I'm walking through memory lane as I'm going down the hallways. This is where I used to live. I was telling her about my little secrets, and because I was short, I can get to places where people couldn't find me. And so I now go back to my old school. It helps that cultural barrier between our schools, the white kids and the Indian kids, the black kids and the Asian kids. If we're sharing cultural programs with the schools, it's helping the kids to understand each other. And that's where everybody needs to do is understand each other instead of all this, "Oh, you stinking Indian," or you just think you're so good to yourself. You just think you're good. It's because you're rich.
Right. All these divisions.
And so we're here to break that. I'm here to break that. in my community
Mhm.
and up and down the Klamath River.
Mhm.
And
Can you share more about the sacred natural sites like Mount Shasta and other places
Yes.
sacred to you?
what I do as a teacher and a prayer person and as a cultural practitioner is I use the mountains, Mount Shasta, as my communication of prayer, to send my prayers because it is the highest point in the land, to send my prayers to the top of that mountain, to send my prayers from that mountain to the cross the mountain across the way, which is called Doozle Rock. That's the first place. Then the prayers would go from Doozle Rock to another mountain place nearby, maybe 6-7 miles away. But there are 7 tops of mountains to where my homeland is. And when I'm sending all those prayers to the mountains, I'm praying for everybody that's around me that they're understanding what I'm doing. And so when you don't understand somebody or don't understand nobody, you don't want to be around them. I had a hard time being around my ancestors because they were speaking language good and they were teasing me all the time. So, well, the only way, like I said, was to learn it so you don't have to hear it. And so now I can speak it without having to hear somebody say, "You said that wrong." Is that? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This is my ancestors talking to me. And so I had to take their down hurtful things too. But you got to get past the hurt before you can get to the lesson.
Yeah, transmuting it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't do that. They get to the hurt and stop and go back and run.
Yeah.
Go run, hide someplace else. Well, we don't want to hear Frank today. That kind of thing. And so my answer, so now that's when I had to rely upon the spirit world. Take my prayers to the mountains. And then here comes this one bird, Nikich. Ayuki, Nikich mayum na ituti. He says, "My name is Sparrowhawk. I can take your prayers to the mountains faster than you can say them." All righty. And so I was like looking up one day down in the southern part of our territory. I was looking up and I said, "Mom, I'm just thinking about you. It's Easter today and tomorrow's going to be Easter. And I just pray that your soul just is happy and joy." And all of a sudden I looked up, I seen a sparrowhawk going, "Whoop." See? And I go, "Wow. Did you see that?" I was always saying that to people because people don't see what I'm seeing because my heart's open to it. If your heart's not open to what you want to see, you're not going to see nothing. All you're going to see is cloud like my left eye. Me and my eyes, I only got one good part of my eye that sees 20/30, and that 20/30 sees a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that.
And does your
that
I wonder if by not seeing well for a while help you to see other things that most people don't see.
That was going to be my gift at the most of all, is that I could accidentally bump my water cup here and drop it, and my left hand would catch it without me knowing it. It's called another gift. And so whenever I'm dropping something, my other hand will grab it without even looking. And it'll know where it's at. So it's like your little fingers got little eyes in it. So I was telling Donna, I said, "Yeah, I want to learn how to be an Indian doctor because a doctor can use his hands and take sicknesses out of people. I can believe it. You just got to believe."
And as a little boy, I remember you once said that because your vision was bad, you were having to be really close to the ground and to see the smallest things.
Yeah.
Right close up.
Well, even when we were like little kids and the TV came into play, I'd be standing up to the right side of the TV looking at with my right eye. I'd only have this much sight coming out of my eye, and it would be blurry, but I'd be able to see the TV, be able to see me sitting there going like this, look like I'm praying.
Huh.
But that's all the sight I had when I was
Yeah.
teenager. Then 16 came along, I got another surgery. Then just in the last 10 years, I got 3 surgeries to get a tube put in so that I can have tears put in my eyes so that the pressure that is in my head won't get worse.
Mm.
So I've been stabilizing it using Mount Shasta water, which is the purity of what we drink. And so the water from Mount Shasta is
Mhm.
what I drink every day. I don't drink out of the tap water.
Yeah. Sacred place and sacred water. Yeah. Derek, what questions do you have for Franklin?
Ooh, yeah, thank you, because yeah, you went over a good amount of stuff and how I think it's beyond time that people really need to get over like so many like outdated stereotypes. I'm sure you've had a bunch thrown at you, growing up and throughout the years, and I'm kind of curious as to what's been like the thing
I
that
love it because
young
I
kids
love
say these days or whatever. Like,
yeah, I like when the other side comes at me with anything because I'm ready at all. I already said I was ready at all times to deal with people, deal with people, places, and things. Always be open to be ready. So I'm walking down the aisle in the store, and this big old guy walks by with his arm, and he's thinking he's going to just bump me and make me go flying across the room.
Mm.
And me and him bumped each other, and he had to turn his body because mine wasn't moving for him because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I see whenever it happens that way with me. I counteract it with the good things you can do.
The strength.
The
right?
strength of what
Yeah.
was the gift I have is strength
Yeah.
and confidence. Confidence covered strength for a lot of years because I didn't know that strength just came to me yesterday. And I go, hey, I finally found out what the strength was. And the strength was to be able to get through that being sick and get through being in sorrow and hurt and mad. You're strong enough now to be able to hold back that anger and that emotion that people put on you or throw at you. So not only your own tribe upsets you so that you could deal with them in a diplomatic way. You deal with them rationally. And yes, I had to learn English when I was, and like I said, when I learned Karuk language, I had to learn English first. And that's funny. I wanted to be an English teacher. I didn't never dream that I had to go back and learn my own language
Right.
for today. And I'm glad I can contribute to this time period. And I, with this sense of humor and this hard to get along with me, that's what it takes. You want to disrespect me? I'll show you what disrespect looks like.
Mm.
You want to be a young person thinking you know everything? That's what's going on in our tribe. All the young people, oh, I know everything. My uncle taught me everything. Yep. But were you there to experience it? No.
That's key.
There's the catch right there. You weren't there. So I have to go back and tell all these young people that are in their 40s and 50s and 30s, quit trying to think that you can run something and do it right the way you think you do. Because my dad said that you're the medicine man now. My son Frank, he's an alcoholic. He's gonna. So you got to take over. So my nephew takes it on and gets a big head over it, and I let him have it. Why? Because my dad let me have that big head too. But I had to learn to get rid of that.
It's a process. Huh?
Yeah, it's a process of elimination.
Maturity.
I eliminated all the garbage what was negative that was thrown at me and turned it into the shimpid tough.
Yeah. When you're the one kind of lonely one fighting the fight, it really does require an inner strength. Right?
Oh, definitely. You have to not only know what you're doing in the morning, you have to know what you're doing at night. You have to know what you're doing and where you go, who you're with, and what for, why.
Clear on your mission.
Yeah, what's
right?
in it for me? What am I going to learn? What am I going to waste my time with? Where are you going to take me now? I told my nephew. Oh, I want these people to meet you up here and there. And then now they have a craft fair and everything like that. And he didn't want to meet me because he wanted to go up there and sing and perform in front of people.
And so when you may say yes to things, you're doing it from the standpoint of your mission.
Yeah,
what
it better be
your
something
vision-
sacred. It better be
Yeah.
something that I'm going to learn and grow on.
And be able to then give back.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
can give back. What I have in my life is I have this thing called show and tell. I'm going to show you and tell you, then you guys show me and tell me. This is what I'm going to tell the other tribes that need help, that they want liaison to come up to their land and teach them, because they got the same kind of ways of life we do. And they're just close to us. They're just north of us, a few mountains. And so they want me to come up there and talk to their young people and teach them how to be who they are and where they can start from the beginning.
Yeah, good point. Right? There's a lot of parallels.
Yeah, you don't get to jump. You don't get to jump bridges. There's no shortcuts. There's no there's none of that.
So when you see a lot of tourists and people coming, and doing the ceremonies, wearing native clothes or doing sweat lodge, but not really traditionally, how do you feel about that?
I compliment them. I go, hey, that's a beautiful necklace you got there. Where'd you get that? That's awesome. I like that. So you coming from a good point of view, and then they give you a good answer, like, hey, he didn't say, what's that guy doing wearing that? I don't judge nobody. Everybody's equal in my books. That's where it should be.
Yeah, because I've noticed that some people will try to appease or celebrate other cultures of different races or whatever, and people of that certain culture might speak negatively, like, hey, why are you appropriating my culture or whatever, that kind of stuff. But I like your approach. That's a cool way to just compliment to begin with and kind of see how they respond to that.
And maybe educate them about the origins
what their war.
of what
hey,
they're
do you
doing.
know what? Oh, that's exactly what I could say. Do you know what you're wearing? Do you know what that is that you got there? That's awesome. I could tell you. So I could tell them what they're actually have and what they're carrying and why.
Yes.
And then you could use it for that too.
Yeah.
And so I would give them a little bit of boost. Not the idea that when you tell our young people something, they take it for gold and go with it. Then they're, we'll leave our elder home. We can do it now. That's how it's going on now.
Right.
And so I'm 67. I'm kind of still like the youngest again still. I feel good about that in a way because, hey, I'm young. But as far as being an elder for the Karuk people, you're young. And when you get in your 80s, you become a little bit more distinguished, whatever. I'm not going to play that game. No. We're here to teach. We're not here to show.
Yeah, ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I ain't going to show off. I ain't going to tell you guys something to tickle your ear. I'll tell you something you guys don't like.
That does take courage.
And you have to have courage to do that because you're going to say something they don't like. And it's all right. Because I'm the one who did it. You didn't.
Yeah. You
didn't do it. I didn't say you did it. Now there's the blame game. Judging me for something what's that little guy? How can he do that? He don't even know how to drive a car. He don't do that. You know what? That's why I did it, because you guys said I couldn't. And I played the game of let's see if I can do it. And when I was 36, that's when I started. I started stepping forward faster.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen for the future going forward from what you're retrieving from going backward? How do you want this to go forward?
I'd like to see unity. I'd like to see some good attitude as far as the non-Karuk people to see the efforts of what we're doing, and because we see a lot of efforts that's going on and the changes that's going on in America, and there's a lot of off balance going on, but yet we still try to keep our balance in our world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll certainly do my best to keep my balance for me.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if anybody else is off balance, I'm not going to be.
Right.
I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be just like you behind you there, young man. That circle, focused on that bullseye.
Yeah.
What's in the spirit world in front of me for me.
Excellent.
Now I can say I dropped it down. Now they're teaching kids how to speak language in the schools and the Head Start, and so they're picking up, but they're doing it slowly.
Mm-hmm. How do we increase?
We need some money to do. We need some money to do that. We need money to do that.
Ooh, yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because my ex-girlfriend, she's in Canada, and she does have some indigenous ancestor blood in her and stuff, and so she has been in contact with some elders and some of the reservations over there in the Great North, in British Columbia. I forget what tribe, but she mentioned some really unfortunate things of just how, especially those within the tribe that have to mingle with the politics and politicians. They kind of tend to like be easily corrupted in a sense, and kind of.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you that's exactly what's going on, because our chairman, for instance, I love the guy and I get along with him really well, and we're in the same age group. He's a little older than me, but he's into going down to California, going to the state capitol, mingling with the other tribal leaders in the state of California so that we can work out some legislation where the tribes would get, they can work out their differences as far as tribes go. Well, that's none of my business. None of mine. And when I moved into the Karuk housing on the reservation from being exiled for 14 years because of my way of life, they didn't want me to come back. But I sobered up and I changed my life. And when I started that day, I had to start my job day 1, day 2, day 3. Now I'm on 13 years and 8 months.
Yeah, but you're not involved in trying to make change on the government level, because I struggle with the thought of Native Americans partnering with the government when the government did so much wrongdoing to your people.
What happened is, they're being partnered because we're helping the revenue of what they gave back to us, and we made a casino, and we're making a motel in Wairika, and so we're bringing revenue into Siskiyou County, which is income and jobs.
Yeah. And
so there's where the asset of our tribe comes into the play, is through employment and through jobs and what they can offer. Right. But like I said, when it comes to the tribal ceremony and culture, we got 2% for you guys. And I go, yeah, what are you guys going to do in 10 years down the line when you guys finally get this motel paid off and all this, well, we got the casino paid off now, and now we've got 10 more years and we get the motel up, and it's going to pay back, and then it'll be back in our name, and then we'll give you guys your 2%. I go, how much of us are going to be alive by that time?
Right, good question.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and there was like all these elders sitting in the room, and we're like looking at them like, yeah. And I go, and so now they get mad at us because we say, yeah. And so they get mad by neglecting us, by just giving us what we need, just giving us what we,
just enough.
Just call me Justin. You're only just enough.
Damn. So the unity you're talking about, it really doesn't seem possible or feasible through the the convoluted unity that the government is, is trying to like lip service or
Almost
provide
braggy.
something, I guess, but it just doesn't seem like that's the best route through government, right?
No, it isn't, and that's why I wrote down journals and I wrote down rebuttals
Mhm.
of things going on in our tribes since 80.
Mhm.
And before that, I wrote journals from 1970 to 1979, but I lost those.
Oh,
But
it's inside.
it's inside. And so then when I did my other journals, it went inside. Then when I got done writing them, after 3 years of hard work, I told you guys earlier, the creator said, now go out and live what you wrote.
Mm.
That started in 2013. And since then, I've been working my my butt off, because I'm not working for any monetary gain. And when I do projects like this, it's a tool for me to have monetary gain so that I can go travel to other ceremonies. And I got a dance coming up in May, and so I have to have finances for that. So that's that. But I do things for other people in Mount Shasta
Mhm.
for the tour. I'm a representative for Native American through Mount Shasta as a tour representative for
Oh,
Native
yeah.
American.
So you do Sweat Lodge for people
Yeah.
who do tours, say here in Mount Shasta, they'll contact you and you'll
Yeah.
provide a cultural experience.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
a fire circle.
Yeah.
Or a sit circle. It's
Mhm.
always, I like things that be in circles so everybody can see each other.
Yes.
And it's been wonderful to be
Mhm.
doing things from people from Mexico, from
Mhm.
Brazil, from Colombia, from France, and from
Yeah. I'm
other
very
parts
grateful
of
to have been able to be in your
and
sweats
China.
and sitting around fires
Yeah.
with you and seeing
Yeah,
you
and
talk with the
offer
birds.
yeah, I'm not afraid to say anything that I don't feel
Yeah.
like is right, because if you're living the life of a teacher and a servant, you're going to do it every day.
Yes.
And my belief is in season and out of season.
Yes.
You have to be ready,
Yeah.
no matter what.
It's not a hobby. It's a
No,
it's a lifestyle
of
and a
life.
commitment to a mission to, like you said, the bullseye. Spirit is in the bullseye, and
Yep.
yeah.
That's when when that happens, and it'll be my time to take my last breath again and say,
Mhm.
hey, it's your guys' turn now.
Yeah.
May you guys do just as well as I did, or I hope you guys do better.
Yeah.
And, that's what my wish is.
Yeah.
That they pick it up and say, hey, yeah, we need to do what he was trying to do.
Yeah. There's a
So-
beautiful website that is put together that we'll share, that has some videotapes of
1980 on.
yeah, has your father talking and you singing, a lot of beautiful poetry and words.
And my
Photos.
cousins
Yeah.
were speaking, my auntie was speaking,
Yes.
and I was speaking a little bit, and my nephew was speaking some. So
Mhm.
yes, it's on. It's called Walking Backwards in small case, walking/backwards.com.
Yeah.
And it's all about that. What my dad wanted to do is get the message out to the world that, hey, there's these problems going on.
Yeah.
There's the animals. There's what happened to the water snakes? Where's all the And so my dad's like really hitting the nail on the wood, making me feel like, wow, man, I got a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
It's like he's right.
Yeah.
And so we work on habitat. We work on our tribal natural resource department down in our tribe. They're supposed to be doing all this stuff, and so where I sit as a teacher and an elder, I get told less things than most people do. But my ancestors and my heart and belief in the creator above me and all around lets me know.
Yeah.
And so that I don't have to be disappointed,
Yeah.
because I'm going to see it anyway.
Yeah.
They do something wrong, I'll see it. They do something right, I'll let them know.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if we could have another song from Donna.
Yeah. Come on, Donna.
Right here,
Yeah.
Donna.
And while she's getting ready,
Yeah.
you share some of the people who have been influential to you that you give gratitude to for that?
Okay, for one, I love this lady named Owak Tuffy. Tuffy was my first cousin, and distantly, I didn't even know we were related actually, but I got a lot of relations. My whole tribe's practically related to me. But Tuffy gave me the name Futhka Mitma because she knew that was my dad's name, and my dad wasn't going to give it to me. So she gave it to me because my dad was feeling like, oh, he's this and he's that. He don't deserve it. He don't deserve it. Well, you know what? I deserve it now. I deserve it way back when I was born. And so I carried myself forward since I was born to always go forward and be better.
Yeah.
I want to be better for what our people, better for the people that, so our children can see and hear what our ancestors were trying to say a long time ago. The ones that were put into boarding schools and the ones before us, I really feel bad about really hard because it hurts my feelings, and to watch all of them leave me when I was young and leave me in a sad way. But that was a lot to give me strength too, to see all that pain and to turn it into strength, turn it into desire, innocence, and purity, confidence. So I thank my ancestors for helping me to be strong, even when I'm being less than in my tribe. I don't care. I'm not less than in the eyes of the Creator because I see nothing but favor in my eye, in front of me. And so I look for the good. I don't look for the bad.
Yes.
The bad will always be there, and when it is, the good will too be there.
Yeah. I just want to mention that this particular flute here, it was made by a Native North American person, and it's a deer flute. So when we pulled up today to Leslie and Franklin being here, there was a family of deer out in the yard, and it just seemed like a welcoming, sign
Yes.
of peace and unity, because that's how the deer live. They live in peace and unity. And there's been families all around here. I watch them through the spring and through the winter now coming back, and so apropos for your theme.
Yes. Thank you.
So, put that intention into this offering of unity.
Oh.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome. I just got to say real quick, I don't know, something about wind instruments, especially, when it comes from, the chest and, that's within the heart and all that. There's something really special about that. And just, yeah, I'm a DJ. I've mixed music. I actually have a mix out that's like almost 2 hours long of a lot of hip hop tracks. That it's titled "Native Journey of the Mystic Journey of the Native Souls," and it's really paying homage and tribute to just like the whole past genocide and all that stuff, and to encourage these current generations to strengthen up. And I also have another mix that titled mystic flutes and all that stuff, and like just music that has a flute. It speaks to my soul in such a interesting way. And what's your interpretation on that instrument specifically, and the certain sounds that correspond to your tribe and all that? Because it's so profound and sacred to me. So yeah, thank you so much, Don. That was really beautiful.
Do you have any thoughts on the flute?
Yes, the flute kind of relates to how I like to sing my songs in flowing, and let it flow. Let my song flow up and down 3 or 4 times, and let it flow. And then when it does, it goes into your heart, and then it causes you to just relax, and your bloodstream and your heart just start to. And then the air that you breathe, and that the heart that you breathe, think in your heart and your mind, is thinking good thoughts. And our ancestors always told us, think good thoughts. Now, it was hard when you've been joked around and teased and pushed around. Think good thoughts. Think good thoughts. Take it like a man. But our mom would always tell us, don't cause anybody to come at you for no reason. So we always had to be good kids growing up in Wairika, because we were the first generation to be walking the streets of Wairika free.
Wow.
It was scary.
Yeah.
My first place I went was what they call the Wairika Bakery. And the bakery there, I'd go in, and he goes, well, go in the back. I'd go in the back, and he'd bring out what he would have leftovers. Gave me leftovers from my brothers and sisters. So the interaction between the white and the Native American in our town was very not good. We weren't allowed downtown. We weren't allowed in the streets. But when the segregation came along, they had to open how we're going to get to school. Walk to the school. How we're going to get to the store. Walk to the store. So before, when it was all restricted to us, it became we got to go to the store and buy our stuff. But we have to work for money. Our people didn't get money. We just traded what we made, baskets. We traded stuff. And in those days, we were so oppressed that most of them were alcoholic, and so a lot of them that lost their homes was due to because they wanted money to go buy wine and buy supplies so they can get by, and so they give up their property and move into a little house made for them. So even it got lower and lower as I got younger when I was growing up. And so now we're off the reservation. Now we got a reservation in Wairika called the Karuk Tribe Housing Authority through HUD, Housing and Urban Development. And so our tribe bought land, and HUD put our houses in for us.
Do you get to control what you do?
No, we have a committee. The tribe has committees so that they will control everything. The people have exactly. I won't say no more on that one.
Some work to be done still.
Yeah, there's still work to be done, I'll tell you that. But I'm hoping that in time that things will change, and they'll realize that our elders are special, instead of being the boarding school kids or being the what they call, oh, you're born in the age of the baby, you're a baby boomer. Now, you're characterized as being a baby boomer because you're born between 1946 to 58 or something like that. I can't remember how many years they said, but yes, I was born during that time. And yes, my dad did go to World War II. Yes, my dad did go to Korea. And so he went to Japan and went to Mount Fuji, and all the Indian people or the indigenous people in Mount Fuji welcomed my dad. and he was gone for weeks.
Mm.
AWOL. He got AWOL a couple times. So my dad was getting around.
He was a pretty brave, independent
yeah, I
man.
called him. He was a coyote. You know, coyotes can get anywhere, and he was getting around. And his name was Charlie Thom Sr. And he was the helper of one of the helpers to get Mount Shasta from being commercialized up on top.
Yeah.
And it stopped it. It made them turn the whole mountain into a resort or what they call natural
A natural, what do they call it? when they
resources.
Save it.
Heritage site.
A heritage site.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
made
it's
it
actual heritage site.
they made it a sacred site so that it couldn't be bothered or built on.
Mhm.
And because
Wow,
you're going
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the ley lines and the Earth energy grid and how they're chakra points throughout the
Yeah.
Earth? What's
Yes.
up with Mount Shasta? Because there's so much cool, groovy, extreme energy sometimes, and there's always like scholar type of clouds hanging above the peak summit there, and
Well, when you got all these people that are having so much respect that are going around the mountain, they have the utmost respect. And if they're given that utmost respect, the mountain's going to do the same. And if I'm going to sing a beautiful song to Pretty Girl, that's what I call Mount Shasta. I'm going to sing her a beautiful song and she's going to love it and she's going to sing back to me. And I believe that. We call that it's Yuruk, cross. I cross to you and you sing the song
Yeah.
back to me. And so Mount Shasta is a place of peace, I noticed, and that people do get along really somewhat. You don't hear of no violent things going on too much. A lot of people have respect for her. And I really, as a Native American, I really appreciate that the people do have that respect.
What is the lore or the story around Mount Shasta that your Karuk people tell?
The lure that we thought is we couldn't make it to the ocean, and we would always hear about this big water, big water, big water. And our ancestors, they wanted to find out, so they all went to Shasta Valley. They said, "Hey, you got some flat land there. How about us coming together and we never seen the ocean before. We keep getting over that mountain and we always get stuck, lost." So we came east and came to Mount where the valley was. And so all the animals got together and they said, "Well, bear could carry those big old rocks pretty good, can he?" "Yeah." "Well, tell all the bear clan to stand around Mount Shasta and bring their rock and set the big rocks around the mountain." So the bear people came together and put all the rocks around the mountain, all the rocks. And then the beavers, they said, "Hey, we build dams. We could build some trenches for you. Put some dirt in there. Make a kind of like a home, like a land. Like so." They threw all beavers got together. The beaver clan got together, circled the mountain, started kicking with their tail and biting through the dirt and the roots and stuff and building up around the rocks. Then finally roots started growing around the dirt, when they were planting. As they're tearing up the trees and putting it in there, the trees were growing up. And then here we come, well, hey, beavers did a pretty good job. Got those trees all in there pretty good. Now what do we need? Oh, how about if we ask the snake family? All right. So they get the snake family. Well, could all you guys, hey, you got king snake, rattlesnake, gopher snake. Could you guys do us a favor and push the dirt up? Then here comes darn coyote. Hey, I'm Coyote. I'm Coyote. I know what you guys can do. Everybody get around the mountain. Then start pushing and bring anything you guys can. So all the animals and birds and plants and things would get together and start pushing things around the big rocks. Next thing you know, well, what's the purpose of us doing this anyway? Why are we doing this? Well, some people over there on the west, they want to see the ocean. They said they had a hard time getting there and they kept getting lost. So they wanted us to build something up so we could see the sea. So they went up there, and next thing you know, they said, when are we supposed to stop? We've been here for, 3 or 4 years, you know. Well, who's the boss around here anyway? So there was no boss.
There's no boss. Imagine that.
And so as they kept going, they just kept going. Next thing you know, they all met up on top, sitting there looking at each other. All the animals and birds and plants, all the worms and all that, anything that lives in that mountain. Then they got an idea. Wow, we built this hill up this high. Let's build a fire right here. All right, so everybody, well, who's the fire builders? Oh, well, the guy over there, he scratches on those rocks, makes sparks come up. And so they grabbed all the bears again, and told the bears, get around there and start scratching this. And brush come up there, jumped in. And then all the lizards came in and pushed the brush up there. And next you know, they got the fire going. Sparked it. That's where you get obsidian, because they kept sparking through the rocks and made obsidian. Black. That's what black bears.
Yeah.
Brown bears. Cinnamon bears. So anyway, you get up to the top, and then they built this fire, and then the fire got too big.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, the fire was just getting too big. Now, who's supposed to be watching the fire anyway? All of us. Well, I thought he was watching it. No, all of us are supposed to watch it.
That's right.
And so nobody was watching what was going on. The fire got bigger and bigger and bigger. Next you know, it got bigger and bigger and smaller. And then all of a sudden it started sinking into the earth. And then started sinking into the earth. And started sinking into the earth. Then started sinking into the earth. Because it kept burning, burning, and burning.
Yeah. Created a volcano.
And now there's lava in the mountain.
Yeah.
Animals just didn't they didn't listen to nobody. They just thought they were doing the right thing. Well, they asked the Karuk people, well, we're done. You can come see your mountain now. You can come see your ocean. So our ancestors, well, we'll send 3 people up there from each village. That way they can come back and tell the people. Tell them to bring back some herbs from up there too. Medicine. So they go up there. They come back down to Cutamine, back down river after crossing the 7 mountains, and brought down the herbs and the obsidian and everything. So they made arrows out of it, of the obsidian. And so the Shasta people that stayed there, they said, okay, hey, look what these animals did to that. Look, there's a big mountain over. They all woke up one day and they see a mountain there. And so Mount Shasta was like, when the Karuk people was walking up there and it was still kind of red, kind of hot still. So they kind of stopped at the foot of where the trees were. Then, so they said, well, we got to send our medicine man up there. He's invincible. That guy can do it. And bring his helper. So they sent 3 people up there. And a woman to help cook for them so they can eat. So they get up there and the woman feeds them. They go up there and they start throwing the rocks in the fire to put the fire out. And that's where all the lava rocks come in, because they all bounced up all over the place because they put too much rocks in. So it blew rocks all over the place. Now they got the obsidian rock or the lava rock all over the place around Mount Shasta
Yeah.
on the south side.
Yeah.
And on the north side, big ones. So mountain couldn't. That fire was out, but it was still going. So all right, just leave it alone. So the Karuk people got to see the ocean for the first time. Oh, second time, there was a cloud bank over the ocean.
Mm.
What's that? I don't know. So it went away, and then they seen the ocean, and they thought, wow. And so they brought that back. Like I said, they bring that medicine back down to the people, and they use that medicine that's from that mountain
Mm.
for good luck and for healing, for eating, for guiding us, and for directing us.
Mm.
We get special herbs from those mountains to light in our fires so that we could have that ceremony
Mm.
of thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And so our people are very thankful. We still got what we have. We still got jarred salmon. We still got deer meat. Still got eels. We still, and so there's still things we still got, but there's a lot missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much.
Well, and we're all grateful that you're doing the work you're doing, Franklin, and I feel very honored that we're here able to document you sharing this story. And I think that the teachings that you share are relevant to all of us, and the work that Derek and I do to bring, truth to the world, to bring ideas to harmonize, in these arguments that are all over, right, that divide people. We're seeing you as having wisdom to help us too. And so many things you said today, I feel like are relevant to those of us doing the work we're doing, of sharing ancient information and truth from nature and connecting to true spirit, and I'm very grateful that you're here with us today.
Oh, and it's good to meet you, young man. And you don't look like Jesus either.
Apparently he's not even white, but yeah, that's another story.
He's Bartoluccelli.
Yeah.
But anyway, you look awesome. I like your backdrop. It looks like you're wearing a big old hairpiece from the Aztec people.
Peacock style.
Those peacock feathers.
Yeah.
Looks like peacock feathers anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if it's more like Indian Vedic style or whatever. It's a mandala, but anyways, that reminded me because growing up, Americano Italiano from the Bay Area, where there's places way scarier than there. But all that aside, I did growing up all the sports and even Boy Scouts, but also Indian guides. I was kind of curious, if you've had that around your way up in Wairika, or if you've just like heard about it, what your thoughts are about it, because I don't know, like, because over in that area it was more by like the Miwok, right out by Point Reyes and Marin County area up to Sonoma.
Yeah, I've been to big time at the Miwok village, and I went up to Mount Tamalpais and did a ceremony with them.
Is that a interesting mountain as well?
Oh yeah, it's a sacred mountain as well. It has some stories in itself.
Right. Yeah.
Mystical stories actually.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, down there in the Bay Area, it's like that. I like it down there more or less because a lot of people are more liberal down there, and they're more accepted of what you are and who you are, and it doesn't matter, I guess, to them. But in regards to how it is today, there is some growth, and there is some information that is being handed over to the children so that they can understand each other and be friends instead of always calling each other names or not understanding each other. That's the most worst thing in the world, is not understanding somebody, because you tend to get emotional. Say, oh, I don't understand them. I don't like them.
Right.
And that's how it becomes. You don't like what you don't understand. So if I understand where the Karuk people come from and where I come from, I like it because I understand it. I don't have to prove it to nobody else or
Mhm.
or share it or whatever. It's there. It's for the grabbing. It's for the asking. Person has to have the want. Just like you have to want to quit an addiction. You have to want to quit overeating. You have to want to quit watching too much TV. So 8 years ago, my best friend passed away. She was my friend. Taught me I don't have to watch TV no more because I'm not doing Karuk language. So I made an oath to myself: if you're not doing language and learning what you're supposed to learn, no TV, no recreation. You have to do the do, do the do, do the do.
Dedication.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
dedication.
dedicate yourself your whole life, you know. And so I know my dad had some doubts when he was passing away. I knew it, but I wanted to let him know personally that I'm doing my best I can to carry on for him and let him know that, yes, I'm letting the world know what he wanted him. What did he want them to know? You'll see it on Walking Backwards, because if you watch Walking/Backwards, small case, you'll see that my dad had all these words to say about what's missing, what's wrong, why is this happening? Because there's too much division in our tribe, too much gossiping, too much judging, too much, oh, he did that. Oh no, he did. Oh no. So you lose that valuable person because they listen to somebody over here that's jealous of you.
Mhm.
And naturally they're jealous of you because you got gifts. You don't get those gifts because you didn't get them handed to you. You get them because you grew up with it and you walked the walk and you talked the talk. And so I don't I give to people, young people, but they have to have that respect too. And they have to have that want. Most people say, I want to learn, but do they really? No. They just want to tickle their ears. And I'm talking about my own people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people that are in my hometown where I live in Wairika. I grew up there 67 years. And I still got classmates that live there, and I can't believe I'm teaching at Jackson Street School. I can't either because none of my classmates never liked me, and I didn't like them. Feelings mutual. Let's leave it at that. And so we just
And keep doing the do.
and keep doing the do.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay focused.
Thank you,
Leslie.
Leslie.
Yes.
Whoa, we're not
Pleasure.
done, are we?
Oh no, we just want to thank you. You never know how long.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to start winding up. What do you
Yeah, totally. I just had a couple questions and all that stuff because, yeah, I understand, life on the res, however people throw out that slang, whatever. It's a little bit different across the states. I stayed in New Mexico in recent times with another elder, actually, but not in a Native American sense, but just like hearing little stories here and there of how, yeah, like human conditioning is big across the map for anyone in any culture in any country, pretty much. Social engineering and all this manipulation, mind control, all that jazz. But as far as like societal conditioning, and some people get certain benefits or hand-downs and welfare and all these things, and when people get too accustomed to these things, I think become a little too complacent and never try to stack up and save to get out and like level up, if you will, and all that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I wanted to take it all the way back to the days of tobacco before it became industrialized and all that. because I actually have done a documentary about tobacco, and I have referenced hape and just cords of tobacco back in the day, where it was a barter and trade commodity, and it was like really high value, and it's just been so perverted, and the sacredness has been flushed down the toilet through industrial bullshit, and now it's laden with all these crap chemicals. And it's for me, it's really sad to see that sacred plant um
being
succumb to that shit.
disrespected.
And
Being
like the only
disrespected.
good stuff in America now is like what, American spirits, but apparently you can find good stuff. I mean, they are making homegrown tobacco in certain reservations, so I've heard, and that's kind of cool. At least preserving certain traditions, up until today, not having it, keep these things sacred, right?
Yep. Yes. I'm very familiar with that one because I thought tobacco was one of our main issues as far as abuse goes. It became abusive, and it isn't being used sacredly, only in ceremony, only in the sweat lodge when you offer tobacco to the fire. And most people smoke cigarettes socially and addictively, but thank goodness I don't. And I do have respect for my mountain tobacco, and I know where it's at. I leave it there until there would be a time that I really need it. And I don't need it today because I am walking in that sort of where nature is already with me and it's already beside me. And whenever somebody has tobacco, they offer it to me. And so that I could, like my native spirits or some really natural good tobacco. And so those are the kind of things I wait for. It's not happening like that now. Young people don't want to get up there and do that for you because they don't know how, for one. And they don't know how to do the prayers and stuff and how to talk to the plant itself. And so you offer it so it will grow back twice the next year.
Right.
After you pick it, you leave your gift and you take their gift, and then you preserve it and put it away. And then when time comes, in the wintertime to start stories, you put it in your pipe and four directions, and then you lay it back down and you leave it there. And then when your ceremony gets done, you pick it back up, and because you're thanking the creator, thanking the spirits, and you're offering the smoke up, as the smoke being the one that takes your words, as smoke is the one that takes your song. It takes all these things up. And so whenever I'm around and I use tobacco and smudge, I do it to protect me, because for one, the bad energy that comes at you is real. And so when it comes at me, it's real. But when it comes at me, it's real too, because it don't like me. It doesn't like the goodness, and it doesn't like the purity. It doesn't like the innocence. It doesn't like the strength, the confidence. So they get away from you. They ignore you. And so that's how it is with tobacco. They got away from it. Instead of ignoring it, they abuse it.
Right.
They don't use it sacredly. They don't use it for every day, lay it down on the ground and offer it to the earth for where you walk, for where you talk. So tobacco is a form of respect to not only your own body, but to the creator and to the earth, Mother Earth. And yes, earlier you talked about natural law. I have to go by natural law because in order for me to be able to walk on Mother Earth, I have to have laws. One says, zip it. The other one says, listen. The other one says, have a seat. The other one says, go to sleep. The other one says, get up. Work. Okay, do you want something to eat? You got 4 more days. And then you get like, if you're like me, oh no, I'm going to go without food 4 days. Well, you got your tobacco to offer to Mother Earth that'll nourish you. You got tobacco to take puffs to nourish you, to respect yourself. So it's a respectful ceremony, pipe ceremony. We call them whoop bum. Whoop bum is a smoke pipe. Whoop is your throat. The pipe is like the whoop bum. It's like your throat.
It's like similar, the flute, right? The passing of air and breath and spirit through the pipe, through the instrument, like
through the deer, the spirit of the deer that goes through the flute. It's just everything that entails is used to make beauty, to make innocence, to make peace, to make honest men and women out of each one of us, to make our children grow up to be proper.
It's like connects us to spirit through that breath, right?
And it all starts back with respect.
Yes.
Know when you pick the tobacco? Oh, it's too young. It's too small yet. You got to wait till next year.
Right. Patience.
Wait another year? Oh my OMG. No, so our people knew how to wait for things. Okay, in the meantime, we can make our arrows. In the meantime, we can make our sticks. In the meantime, the girls can make baskets. In the meantime, we can collect wood. In the meantime, we can build a sweat lodge. In the meantime, so there's in the meantime.
And there's rhythms to things.
Yeah, and it's in cycles. It goes by the moons. It goes by the cycles of the moons in the 13 months of the year for us.
Yes.
And our year starts in the beginning of October. And it ends at the end of September. But there's 13 moons in that time period.
Yeah.
And full moon, dark of the moon, and crescent moon. And so I like to do ceremony in the dark of the moon because it brings that light out of you and that radiates from you into that fire, and then that fire goes up, and then the smoke goes up with your prayers, and it radiates and goes around the world, comes back, goes up Sugarloaf, and you know where all of it's going, and it's going away, so that you can start over anew. So cycles.
Yeah.
We go to the cycles of the moon to do our work.
Right.
And the 5th month is spring salmon come in. Oh, I'm going to give my life to those humans again. Eels come in when the first rain after rains. Oh, we're going to give our life to the humans again. One of you said, "Suck it up." That's a joke. Because that's what eels do. They suck on rocks, and then we just grab them with a sock.
That's good.
That's great. One thing before.
That's what tobacco is to me, is it's sacred and it's honorable. And I feel like it's being abused. Yes. But I don't. So I don't do it. None of my Manya, I got a saying. I'm a Manya Indian and I'm a Nanya Indian. I mind my own business and it's none of your business. So if you want to learn something, have a seat and zip it.
Open your ears.
And open your ears and zip it. And so that's why I don't got too many students.
Oh man, they don't want to hear the real, man. What the hell?
Yeah, you got to be real. You got to have that real. That I'm ready. Out of season, in season. I'm ready. So takar wakari wahum. I'm ready. Hum chupa chupa. Here, have speak. Humka uchus payum yap itasupa. I have to think good all day. Ah, Taniai. Are you sad? Puhara yachi chichahumura. I'm happy. And so Tani achicha. I am happy. Ta'awahiv. Am I going to eat? Puna apuniti. I don't know. Thought umpai. What is that? I don't know. See, my thing about what my uncle always told me is always not know. Because if you don't know, it won't hurt you. If you don't know and you want to know, you will find a way to know. But it's up to you with the 2 feet. You with the mouth, you with the ears, you with the hands, you with your 2 feet again. And so you stay consistently, and in this time period, I have to be consistent. There's no I can't wait. There's no taking time off. There's no vacation time. I don't get overtime pay. Hey, yes, I do. And so the thing is you get taken care of in a lot of ways from different people from everywhere. So it's a variety of everybody that's taking care of me. And it helps me to keep this strength going.
Yes.
So that's where my unity is having unity with a lot of people. And I do. Friendship. And a lot of people up and down the Klamath River know me personally, and they like me because I'm not judgmental. I'm not sitting there trying to tell you how to live. But you got a choice. It's your choice. I can't tell you. And my dad said, I can't tell you nothing. And so I'd sit back there and listen to him in the lodge, in our sweat lodge. Listen. Listen. And so I would listen, and that's how I learned a lot of things in my life. And so when I listened when I was 3 years old, like I said in the beginning, 3 years old, I still had to listen. And I remember those 4 ladies. They were the archangels of our people at the time. And they're all not with us today, but you know what? They're with us today. In heart, spirit, and soul. And want. Desire. Desire to learn. Desire to want something new. So that's where I'm at today is I keep that desire going, that candle lit.
Yeah. And there are ancestors and lineage holders that if we can open our minds to listen to what they had to say, we could be better.
Yeah. A lot of people tell me, oh, your dad just told me he's proud of you. I go, what? Yeah, he's right there. I go, what? I can't. See, the thing is when you're walking a purity trail, you can't see anything because you got to be in purity. You can't be influenced by that or that or that or that or that or that.
Watch your ego.
Yeah, and watch your ego. Humility is my best friend. Empathy is my worst friend because I have too much of it. I can attest to that right now. I'll help anybody still, and in any way. So it's just hard, because a lot of people, they won't ask for help because they got, pride and anger. Anger, I keep telling people today, anger is pride. If you're mad, you got pride. Get rid of it. And that's one thing I'm telling people today is you got to get rid of that pride. Let yourself down. Put your hair down. Or if you don't got hair, grow some.
Because it gets in the way.
Yeah, like mine does.
Yeah.
Time.
Speaking about pride, a lot of people are so proud of whatever sports teams from whatever city they're from, and there's a good handful of them that have, taken on Native American names or tribal names and stuff. What are your...
If their shoe fits, wear it. If they can be a redskin, be a redskin. If they can be a dolphin, be a dolphin. They can be a buffalo, be a buffalo.
Take the gifts, the medicine of that.
Yeah.
I cut myself short because there was a train passing through, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that there's a polarizations going on with a lot of virtue signalers out going on, and it seems to be mostly from the liberals. They're like, we got to take off these names like the Cleveland Indians or the Washington Redskins. And the most latest thing from last season, I read that, there was an actual, a boy that dressed up as an Indian in red face. That's the highlight of the title of the news thing. I don't know if you heard about this, but people were in uprage, like, "Oh, that's so racist," and this and that. Turns out the boy was, descendant of a specific tribe or whatever. So he has all the right to, dress however he wants to.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous sometimes, and like people are trying to race bait
I,
and do
like
these
me,
little
I
virtue
believe,
signaling. What the hell,
like
man?
me, I believe my regalia. I believe my headdress. I believe my jump stick. I believe my quiver. I believe my moccasins are all on me as I walk on my 2 feet. And by believing that, I don't have to have it. And that's why I'm not wearing a necklace today. So I'm not wearing a headband today. It's because I don't have to. It's not ceremony now. And when I do ceremony, yes, I will take my shirt off, put a necklace on, and to represent the sea and the shells, to represent the abalone, to represent all the animals and birds that give themselves up to help us do dance and ceremony for their appreciation to what they give us. And so we use everything we can to make something beautiful happen in nature. Mother Nature will take care, like my dad said, Mother Nature will take care of itself. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, if they keep continuing to do abrupting things around Mother Earth will respond in her own way, and it's called natural law.
Boom. A Hopi prophecy. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
The Hopi. Are you familiar at all with the Hopi prophecy?
No, but I just know that
Okay.
I'm pretty much in that in instance of time as far as understanding goes. But no, I understand how I see about it, though.
Yeah.
But it's so in line with their message of what you just talked about, of just like how we're so unaligned to natural law and just nature in itself, and we're abusing, misusing, and not being properly connected like you guys were in the past. And yeah,
Yeah.
this harkens back
Well,
to
I'm
natural law,
still connected
animism,
to
and
it because I still keep track of what's going on every day in the weather.
Yeah.
In my own natural forecast.
Mm,
And so when I see off balance like I do now, I can tell my people, hey, we're off balance.
Right.
Natural law is off balance right now. We have to be off balance with it. And in order for us to balance, we have to be off balance with it.
It's like the other side of the pendulum in a sense to bring back balance. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to work with off balance to make balance. And to be off balance, we have to not know a lot of things that we don't know anymore. But we can use that to give us balance. And as long as we have all these people coming together to do that, it's good. But it's not happening that way. But in our tribal territory, there's 4 or 5 tribes that are all working together now because we need to know that we need to work together to keep what beauty that we have as ceremony and keep that fire going, keep it lit and keep it going.
That's right.
And like my dad said, our songs will never die. And so, no. And so, again, I carry on, then the next generation carries on. I just happened to hug a little boy today. He's the size as me, and he's 10 years old, and I already dropped a lot of things on him, and he don't even know it. And I said, I hope you're ready. I told him in his ear. I said, you're gonna be shown some things that you won't even realize,
Plant that seed.
Yeah, you
right?
plant that seed in young people. Some of them are growing up. Like right now, I got all the older ones that grew up when I was when I was black haired. They're all older, getting into 30s and 40s, and they're all. I know it all. I know it all. So you
right?
can't teach. I know it all.
like you said earlier, yeah.
You can't, and I'm not going to. You know it all. Go for it.
Right. People will have their hard crashes.
Yeah. And so they'll fall down and they have to get back up and they'll have to see me again. I have to tell you, I told you so. And so There's where balance comes in. It's when your elder comes in and says, "Hey, you guys are a little bit off balance here."
Yeah.
And,
And if people don't listen, they'll learn the hard way.
yeah,
right?
if they don't listen, they're gonna bump their head.
Yeah. I think it's time for another song, another drum.
Okay.
Oh yeah, with pleasure. And by the way, while Donna, you're setting up, or yeah, get that beautiful drum. Are you familiar with the group Audio Pharmacy?
Only pharmacy I'm familiar with is where I get my medicine.
Okay, they prescribe musical medicine, and they do have some native members in their group.
Well,
I don't
here's
know
some
what tribe they're
medicine for
from, but
you, but here's some medicine song for you.
yeah, please. I might do that.
Oh, hey yo, hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yeah, 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 no, 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 hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey, yeah, hey yo, hey yo, no, hey yo, oh no, 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 yeah, yo, hey yo, no, 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 hey, hey yo, no, 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 no. Oh no no yo hey hey yo I know way hey yo hey yo way I know way I know way I know way hey yo way I know way hey yo way hey yo way hey yo way hey yeah yo and no. Oh no 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 no! Hey 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 yo! No 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 no! Oh no way! Hey yo way! Hey yo way! Hey yo! Hey hey yo way! Hey yo way! Hey yo way! Hey 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 yo! No no no! Hey, 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 yo, hey, yo. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no way. Hey, yo, hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Oh, no. Hey, yeah, yeah, yo. Honey, yana. Honey, yana. Hey, yeah, yeah, yo. Hey, hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. No, 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 no. Ah, no, 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 no. Hey, yo, way. 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 Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yo. I know. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yeah, 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 yo. Hey, yeah, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, way, yo. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Hey, yo, way. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh, Yotowa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Franklin.
Wow, yeah.
Really powerful.
Wow.
Well, we have some lunch waiting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And I was gonna say, if any last comments or questions, Leslie, from your end, and I know, like, yeah, that's such a beautiful way to end it. So yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil the moments, but yeah.
Yeah.
Franklin, that's so.
Yeah, you beat it on your heart
Mm,
Mm,
and it wakes you up and said, okay.
that's beautiful symbol, like beating on your heart to wake yourself up.
Mm.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Franklin.
Chimimon. All right then.
then.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah, yeah, likewise. Yeah. High
Yeah.
honor.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for
thanks.
playing flute. Thank you for
Yeah, come on up, say hello. Like that's so cool. Yeah.
We're
Wow.
happy to be a part of this and to support you guys in what you're doing. Support Franklin and you, Leslie, and
yeah, thank
you
you.
know, for bringing this into the household, and my lovely guest who's been in the background, Gia. She's on her way
Yeah.
out, but she stayed just to hear all this presentation.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
we're kind of in the skirts, you know, of Mount Shasta and Black Butte. We're in a really, I think, a sacred place. So
Yeah, I really wanted to come check out where you were staying, even if it was just going to be for a day or a week over there. No, not yet, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, it's so really appreciative of lending out and having the space for us to make this happen. Thank you so much, Donna, Franklin. Thank you so much. Moonwalking over consciousness, backwards, if you will, with the walking backward.
Ah,
yeah, I love that. It says a lot.
ifus kam ipma. Ifus kam ipma.
Merci
I
beaucoup.
fool you. My name is Walking Backwards.
Boom,
I
exactly.
should have something just came to me. I've never mentioned this to you before, Franklin, but in the Quechua tradition of South America in Peru, they teach that your future is not ahead of you. Your future is behind you because you can't see it. Your past is in front of you because you can see it. You've lived it. And so I'm just realizing that,
Exactly. That's
serendipity with walking backwards, what you're,
Yeah.
Whoa.
yeah.
I hope that you enjoy.
We're all connected, right?
Yep. I hope you enjoy all the.
Well
If you
said.
watch my dad's program, he's the one that put Walking Backwards together. It took him since 1980 to get it going. He wanted to get this videotaped long years ago.
Mm.
It took a lot of ridicule and put downs from our tribe because he was documenting it.
And then let's thank John, who he
Yes.
brought in to do the videotaping, and he
Yes.
was preserved a lot of this knowledge for
Yeah.
your
I met John Veltri back in 1980, and him and my dad became best friends. And in the background, me and John became best friends. And so whenever my dad was neglecting me, John wasn't, and John was encouraging me. And so he gave me a lot of hope in my heart, and I'm glad for him and his wife Marguerite, Marguerite's here living in Mount Shasta still, and is my best friend. And
John passed over, so
and he passed over 2022 alongside my other 3 teachers. So all 3 of them left in 1 year.
Wow.
4 of them. And
Wow, that's
that
heavy.
really made me really wake up and say, okay, you got it together now.
Mm.
Yeah, no joke. We got to work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not over. It's not done till the last cookie crumbles.
The last breath.
Totally, yeah. It's just a way of life. This is our lives. We have to live it to the fullest to the end, I feel. So yeah.
In a meaningful way, right?
Yeah.
I'll smile for that one.
Yeah. 67 years young, man. You're still
Right.
looking
Keep
good.
years. All right. Well, thank you for everyone who watched
Yeah.
And,
I hope you enjoy it all, whoever listens.
and check out the website,
Yes.
Walking Backwards.
Yes. You'll learn a lot about who my dad was, and I'm just in the shadow in the background, but you know what? The shadow is going to shine.
Yeah, you're not in the background anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like you've been doing some shadow work too, which is great.
Hey. Very cool.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Oh,
Derek.
yeah. Bon appetit over there.
Yep.
Bon appetit.
All righty.
Ta.